My observation is that you have largely been ignored by the mainstream media. They've called you other when they talk about, you know, the main parties, the Green Party, the Bloc, and then other, or they've attacked you. I don't think I've seen a lot of fair or neutral coverage of you, but maybe I'm biased. Can you tell me, how has the traditional media, the corporate media, the legacy media, the bailout media covered your campaign?
You're right. They don't cover our campaign. And I'll give you the best example. The first day of the campaign, Sunday, when Trudeau launched the election, we said to our team, we will do a press conference in Ottawa. And we did that at the end of the day, Sunday. I was very happy because we had a lot of mainstream media and journalists, maybe 10 journalists in the room, 10 journalists on the line, and you were there also. But and I delivered a speech, 20 minutes in French, 20 minutes in English, and I was answering questions for 45 minutes. After that Sunday, the first day of the election, I said to my team, oh my God, that's great, we'll have good coverage. Yet, zero. We didn't have anything in the newspaper, TV, CBC, CTV, Global were there, nothing on TV, nothing in the newspaper, only the independent media like you, Ezra, that cover us. So all these journalists went back to their editorial board and they've been told, we don't cover Bernier, we don't cover Bernier. And that was everything that happened during the election. We didn't have any coverage from the mainstream media. And when they are speaking about us, yeah, it's orders or, you know, that populist party that don't have anything to say, but that's the opposite.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Here in my ear that we now have the man of the hour. I'm talking about Maxime Bernier, the leader of the People's Party, who, according to the new poll from ECOS, is now at double digits, 11%, more than the Bloc, Quebecois, and the Green Party combined. Maxime Bernier joins us now via Skype. What a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ezra. I'm very happy, very pleased to be with you.
Well, we're happy to have you. And like you, we were not allowed by the government into the leaders' debates. We had to go to court to get in, and they didn't like that. I see that they kept you out under the same, you know, arbitrary and capricious rules. And now look at you. You're the man of the hour rising in the polls, and they don't have you in there. It's going to be a very boring debate without you in there.
You're right, Ezra, because we are speaking about the real issues that are important for Canadians and speaking about COVID-19 hysteria and that vaccine passport that everybody wants to implement across this country against our constitution. But without us, it would be a discussion with mainstream politicians that are on the lot of important issues, spending money that we don't have, nothing about the pipelines, nothing about the equalization, Paris Accord, carbon tax. And it's sad because the Green will be there, and they're about 3% in the polls. And we are, yes, it's going well, this campaign. We are growing and growing. A lot of Canadians, I believe, want to know what we believe, and they won't have that opportunity.
You've said more things in the last 1 minute than were said all last night, more different things. I want to put one more question to you, and then I'm going to bring in our chief reporter, Sheila Gunn, who's also on the line with me. I have a question for you. A long time ago, I was a member of the Conservative Party. I haven't been a member of any party for a while. And I believed that the People's Party that you created was siphoning off votes from the Conservatives. You placed second against Andrew Scheer a couple years ago. But now I'm starting to think that in addition to disaffected Conservatives, you might also be attracting votes from Green Party members who used to value personal health, freedom and privacy and natural health, and maybe even from the Bloc, Quebecers who want a Quebec leader, but not necessarily Blanchette. Who do you think the 11% who are saying to pollsters they support you, where are those votes coming from? Who are they?
It's a great question. As you know, we don't do any polling at the People's Party of Canada. We don't spend money for that. I'm looking at the public polls, and I can tell you that some of our support, yes, can come from Liberals or NDP. I was in New Brunswick last weekend, and I can tell you that I did rallies over there, and a lot of people came, 100, 200 people in a park at our rallies. And these people, the same team and question that they had, they want their freedom back. So I believe that they understand that the freedom is important for us, individual freedom and personal responsibility, fairness and respect. These are the basic principles of the People's Party of Canada. So we may have some support from leftists that are tired with these government overreach, and also from former conservatives. So that would be interesting to see after.
Just said there are the real reason they won't let you in the debate. Mm-hmm. I want to bring in our chief reporter, Sheila Gunn, who's in the Edmonton area right now. Sheila, put a question to Maxime Bernier. We're delighted to have you with us. Go ahead, Sheila.
Mr. Bernier, maybe I'm particularly sensitive to these things because I'm a Westerner, a lifelong Westerner, but I'm going to ask you because you've described yourself as an Albertan from Quebec. And yesterday, one of our other guests pointed out that it was a French language debate, not the Quebec debate. But there was literally no talk of Western Canada unless it was 4 or 5 politicians talking about what they were going to do to us without consulting us out here first. And I think the exclusion of you is actually an attack on Western Canada because so much of your support is from Western Canada. So I guess, what would you say to Westerners who are feeling excluded after everything they saw last night with that debate?
They have a reason to be mad and not happy with that. Actually, we don't in that electoral campaign discuss the most important policies for Western Canada: equalization, pipelines. O'Toole won't speak about that. Trudeau is not speaking about that. But the most important, we are not speaking about Western alienation. I said that in Quebec, and every time that I'm doing an interview on a radio station, I said, I know, I was there, and you have a reason to be mad about Ottawa. We need to acknowledge that. We need to have an answer for that. And the other establishment political parties and elite leaders don't want to speak about it. And it's important not only for Western Canadians, but for all the country. When you have 32% or something like that of the population in Alberta that are ready to separate, you must be there and telling them, no, please don't do that. We will change. We will have a country that will respect the Constitution, that will respect Westerner. And we are doing that. But also, when you speak about it, it's popular in Quebec. The example of pipelines, Quebecers understand that it's safer for the environment and safer for the population to transport oil and gas by pipelines than by trains or trucks. So we need to have that discussion, but they don't want to have that discussion. And so you're right. It was all about pandering to Quebec, with money that we don't have. And if the federal government has some money, it's coming from Western Canada. So it's unfair, and it was not a real debate.
Let me ask you a question about your growing poll numbers. I think in the beginning, you were written off by the conventional wisdom and the mainstream pundits. But now they're noticing, how could you not notice your party going from 2% to 11% and really draining all the energy away from the others? And so it makes me think of what they did to you last time. In the last election, the Conservative Party of Canada, led by Andrew Scheer at the time, hired a notorious Liberal Party dirty trickster named Warren Kinsella. His whole life, he's been the war room dirty trickster guy. The fact that he was hired by the Conservatives was a shocking fact that was not known until later. Are you worried that either the Conservatives or the Liberals or someone will say, oh my God, this guy's actually draining votes from us, break out the dirty tricks again? Are you worried that they're going to have similar attacks on you that the Andrew Scheer, Warren Kinsella team did last time?
No, I don't think so, because it won't work. All these dirty trucks can work once, but not two times, because people know and they understand. I'll give you an example. I had a nice discussion with Preston Manning after the 2019 election, and Preston said to me, Maxime, too bad what they did to you. Yes, the Conservative Party of Canada paid $122,000 to a guy, Kinsella, in Toronto, to discredit our party. He was saying that I was a racist and a Nazi. I'm suing him, actually. I'm in court right now. I'm waiting for the decision from the judge. I can tell you that I will win that for sure. And so Preston told me, Maxime, they did the same thing to me when I created the Reform Party for my first election. They were saying that to me. But you know the good news, the second election, they were not able to say that because it was not true. And I believe at your second election, it will be easier for you. And it's right. This election, I don't have the coverage of the mainstream media, but people understand after, 3 years, they know our party, they know that we want to fight for Canadians and put our country first. So I don't believe if they try other tricks like that, I don't believe it will work, because these establishment politicians don't have any credibility now.
Well, I can tell you 11,000 people are watching our live stream right now, in addition to those who will watch the clips that we put on social media and who watch the replay. So even though there's a kind of mainstream media boycott of you, I think alternative media, you can still get your message out. Can I ask you, this will be my last question, then I'll let Sheila wrap up, because I know you need to go and we have to get ready for the actual debate. So my last question to you is, my observation is that you have largely been ignored by the mainstream media. They've called you other when they talk about, the main parties, the Green Party, the Bloc, and then other, or they've attacked you. I don't think I've seen a lot of fair or neutral coverage of you, but maybe I'm biased. Can you tell me, how has the traditional media, the corporate media, the legacy media, the bailout media covered your campaign?
You're right. They don't cover our campaign. And I'll give you the best example. The first day of the campaign, Sunday, when Trudeau launched the election, we said to our team, we will do a press conference in Ottawa. And we did that at the end of the day, Sunday. I was very happy because we had a lot of mainstream media and journalists, maybe 10 journalists in the room, 10 journalists on the line, and you were there also. But and I delivered a speech, 20 minutes in French, 20 minutes in English, and I was answering questions for 45 minutes. After that Sunday, the first day of the election, I said to my team, oh my God, that's great, we'll have good coverage. Yet, zero. We didn't have anything in the newspaper, TV, CBC, CTV, Global were there, nothing on TV, nothing in the newspaper, only the independent media like you, Ezra, that cover us. So all these journalists went back to their editorial board, and they've been told, we don't cover Bernier, we don't cover Bernier. And that was everything that happened during the election. We didn't have any coverage from the mainstream media. And when they are speaking about us, it's orders or, that populist party that don't have anything to say, but that's the opposite.
Huh, very interesting. Well, you can understand why people no longer trust the mainstream media. If they were all there and they saw your announcement, but they didn't actually publish anything, I think that shows a motive. Let me hand it over to our chief reporter to wrap things up. Sheila, take it away.
Sure. And just moreover to your point there, Ezra, that is exactly why the Liberals have intentions to censor the internet. And that is because they see somebody like Maxime Bernier and the People's Party picking up momentum, going around the mainstream media and talking directly to the people by talking to us or going to their social media platforms. That's why the Liberals are going to censor the internet. We saw it happen in the United States. They did it to Donald Trump. But what I wanted to ask you is, I know that you were recently assaulted, and I wanted to ask you, to what extent do you think that the demonization of normal people, PPC voters and PPC supporters by the Conservative Party, but also by the Liberals and the mainstream media, what do you think do you think that that constant demonization contributed to your assault? And do you think that we're going to see more of that if that demonization continues?
I believe that, the mainstream media, because it's going well, our campaign, they will do everything to discredit us. They're afraid and they're scared about our message. They don't want Canadians to be able to hear that, but it's a common sense. And like I said, we need to start a common sense revolution in this country, a freedom revolution. And I'm telling you, I won't be prime minister after the election. I won't be the leader of the opposition, but we'll have some candidates that will be elected and will be able to do that common sense revolution without the mainstream media, by speaking with alternative media on social media and also real people on the ground. That's why I'm traveling and doing rallies. And actually the other leaders, they cannot do that. They cannot do that because people are not happy with them, are not happy with their policies, and they are telling that to them. I said everybody must be able to express their point of view. I believe in freedom of speech, but that must be done peacefully, and that's what I believe. So I will go on and do my campaign, and I will always be available for the media, and specifically for you and the independent media.
Well, that's excellent, and we're always delighted to have you. And we interview in both English and French because, of course, we have a great reporter in Quebec, Alexa Lavoie, who reports in both languages, and I know you've given her interviews as well. Nice to see you, Maxime Bernier, leader of the People's Party of Canada. Appreciate your time tonight. If you can believe it, Justin Trudeau wouldn't let our reporters into the debate. We had to sue him in federal court, and we won. If you can help us crowdfund the cost of that lawsuit, please do. Go to letusreport.com. Thanks.